test no, turn it off. I mean, I'm gonna have to like read this on a script, I think. I know the first guy said it was unscripted, but I'm gonna hit stop again. Very slowly. And as they say, fourth time's a charm. I think I got it this time. My name's Griff. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where we don't know shit about filmmaking, but we're gonna try. In screenwriting class this week at Seattle Film Institute, we did a very interesting exercise that made me think about this YouTube channel and what we're trying to do here. So the point of this is to learn how to make films to help people in need by creating inspiring content and inspiring others to action. But how do you do that while you're working, right? How do you have a day job and go to school and do all of this at the same time? And to tell you the truth, I just haven't figured it out yet. So this week's journey actually involved a few heroes. And the driving conflict behind their story was to help Afghans flee Afghanistan under the new government. The goal was to help people in need stay warm, fed, medically sound, and in the process of evacuating legally, because that's the biggest challenge, is the paperwork. This week, 4 service members traveled to the Pacific Club for a hosted fundraiser to raise money for Task Force Antal, a low-key yet highly functional group of veterans who are helping Afghan interpreters, service members, and threatened personnel flee the country. So how did it go? Overall, success. Didn't even need an 8-ball for that one. How did the filmmaking go? Well, there is one short clip and one word to solve that. Fail. Beginning in August of 2021, I began working with fellow veterans and concerned service members and citizens when Kabul fell. And it's been a soul-crushing endeavor that's led to severe weight loss, intense depression, and an overall disconnect with my nation. But in spite of all of that, there have been diligent people who have been going to work every day, almost no sleep, no pay, to do the right thing and to fulfill promises that were made heart to heart. This week's mission was conducted by retired Army Green Beret, Brett Martinson, Army Captain Sammy Durrani, myself, Army Ranger Matt Griffin, and a real hero, Afghan interpreter Prince Wafa. Serving as an interpreter from 2010 to 2014, Wafa came to this nation with holes in his shoes and $1 in his pocket. And with that last $1, he bought an Arizona iced tea at a 7-Eleven. Fast forward 7 years, he now owns that 7-Eleven and multiple others, and it's a true success story of an immigrant coming to our country. But he left his wife behind, and so he traveled there over this last summer, and in August of 2021, he got trapped in Kabul with his wife and his family. And in the darkest of moments, Task Force Antal came to the rescue. They got him money, they got him paperwork, they got him and his wife out of country, and now they're safely here. Now that he's home, he has just one simple message that I think all of us need to hear.
Within a few days, you could see the sacrifice of 20 years of 2 nations was destroyed.
The Pacific Club members rallied, donated, and raised funds to help toward the effort. And if you want to donate or learn more about the mission, please go to combatflipflops.com/AfghanWoobie to learn more and donate and help out with Task Force Antal and our efforts in Afghanistan. Now to the filmmaking part of this. So after every military operation, we do what's called an after-action review, an AAR. And basically what it is we review what we did in support of the mission. We look at what we did wrong, what we can improve on from tactics, gear, equipment, processes. And then we make protocols to not do those mistakes again during the next mission. I like to keep things in threes. I'm going to screw things up a lot. And if I ran down my whole list of stuff, it would take about an hour for this film. And I don't think you want to spend an hour watching me talk about my failures. So I'll go for the big 3. Typically, I'm a big fan of shooting things on a cell phone. So I shot everything here on the Google Pixel 5, the Zhiyun Smooth 4, and then I brought my Sony A7III and a DJI Mavic Air, which I got off of Craigslist for like $300, right, for the Flymore kit. So that was my intent, was to go down and film with that. But what I found was that filming on the phone and working just doesn't work. When you're trying to film and calls are coming in, or you're trying to check in on your airplane, things just didn't work. It was just off and on, trying to catch things through the Bluetooth, disconnecting back and forth. It just was a total pain. Next was using this gimbal right here, which I'm using right now, and hopefully it doesn't lose me. All right, it's got me back. But here's the setup I was using. And because I was trying to capture good audio here, I had the Rode Mic Mini mic attached to it, and then you have to have a special cable, this little adapter, and it goes into the phone, which then hangs it off the gimbal, which then makes you have a counterweight, and that counterweight won't allow you to store it safely. And every time I was having to take off the tripod, take the phone off of it, undo the adapter, pull the mic, shove it in my backpack. So every time that I wanted to shoot, it was just a total pain to get done. So I'm just going to have to straight shoot on the Sony A7III. Yeah, and then when I decided to make that call of just shooting straight on the Sony A7III and I wanted to hook a Rode Mic Mini to it, I realized that I forgot, this cable right here that I needed, which is different than this cable right there, which then goes into the cell phone. So I learned that. And then the last thing is you want to get establishing shots. So I was going to bring this Mavic Air down just because I needed a quick establishing shot of the Pacific Club. I knew that I was close to John Wayne Airport. It was in restricted airspace. I'm a 107 pilot, so I applied for my 50-foot clearance on it. I got the approval from the FAA. And then when I tried to download the DJI Unlock process, which I YouTubed all over the place, I couldn't find the remote serial number ID in my remote. And I spent like 2 hours trying to figure it out. But what's more important is raising funds or figuring out this drone and establishing shot. Obviously, it's raising funds. So my AAR on this is that I'm going to go to a restricted airspace. I'm going to try to fire up the drone, see if I can get it to hover. And then if I have to unlock it, can I unlock it on site? And if that doesn't work, then I'm going to have to start traveling with our Scotty O2 from work because I know that they don't have as many geo-lock zones. And that's it for my AAR. I hope you enjoyed this week's film. Looking forward to next week because we're going to go to Skydive Kapowsin out in Shelton, Washington and test out combat flip-flops, new sky shredding gear. And what does the 8-ball say about next week? Is it going to be good? Ooh. Says don't count on it. Well, screw the 8-ball. And with that, if you want to learn out more, don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and then donate if you want to. It's combatflipflops.com/AfghanWoobie. And this week, we're going to say screw the 8-ball.